Yeah. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Hold on. Don't move.
Are we in? Let's see.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Is that better? Okay, can you hear?
Oh, look at that. I can see everybody. Hi. Yes.
All right. Well, everybody minus 20, but still.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, hold on.
This is amazing.
Okay, so.
Oh, now you're really. Oh, wait, did she? I think she did that.
Oh, maybe. Huh?
I don't know, this back to her now.
Hold on.
What are you is playing?
Okay, now it's good. Talk, Shaily? You have to talk.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, there
Hello.
Hello. Okay,
Oh,
so.
wow.
Ooh, look at this. Okay, so Shaily, we're gonna talk to her for a moment.
Yeah.
I have a slideshow to show you. What's with the hat?
Just wearing the
I
hat.
just feel like we're in a rap video. And then immediately after this, after this class, we're going downstairs to talk about midterm project. Then data mining, and then you can all leave. And there'll be donuts. Vivian's bringing them.
Can I leave before data mining?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Is
Yeah.
Tim Project 4? This is
What?
Tim Project 4?
One more time?
Meet Tim Project 4 class. Python.
For programming, for Python.
Oh,
Midterm project, Python. It's a big project. There is no other midterm
there's an
project.
email. Okay.
You want me to send you an email?
No, I read it.
Oh, the optional email.
Yeah, no, he read it because we read the optional. Actually, this one's optional.
I just don't want you to like open an email that you don't have to open. You know?
You only see the Christian part of that. Yeah. Oh, I had to open this one too. This one's optional. Damn it.
Nobody else is belligerent. Arnold never wrote me an email saying I don't open your emails. I figured that this is a good way.
Don't say you don't.
No, he told me.
No, I told him in class, I'm like, I don't ever open your email. No, I remember sitting there when 2158, which like makes sense, but like.
Yes, 2158 at 4:30. See you there. Okay, so I don't know where the 20 people are, but let's get the show on the road.
Yeah.
And we'll do this. Nothing. I feel like I'm the first person to join the Wu-Tang Clan, and there you are. I'm moving on. Trust me. Listen, I'm the RZA. You're Ghostface Killa, and then anyway, listen.
Why are you saying you're tasty like? Yeah.
I am though. So.
Not what I'm saying, but regardless, probably the best hip hop album ever made. Anyway,
Yes.
I went to the job fair. I saw many of you there. The best dressed was Shannon. The least prepared was probably me because I was just going there for pens. Embarrassingly, quite a few people, I'm like, hi, can I have a pen? They're like, are you interested in a job because you seem to work at Cambrian? I'm like, oh. So I was with Himani. We were walking around, right? She goes over to the table and she's like, hi, do you have any business analyst job? Arnold was there too. And they're like, oh no, we don't hire business analysts. That's not a thing. So I'm like, the company does logistics, so surely somebody is like figuring out where things are going and when, and I don't know, like that's their whole business. They move stuff from place to place. Surely somebody must use Excel somewhere to figure stuff out, right? So I went back to them. I'm like, who figures out what goes on each truck? Like, how does it actually work for your logistics company? And they're like, oh yes, our logistics analyst. So I'm like, obviously, it's the exact same skills they're looking for. If you look at the job ad of what they put out there, it's Python, R, and Excel, identical to what you already know, right? What we're really interested in is how could you extend your skills to make it work, right? So with that in mind, I think a lot of it is applying for jobs that aren't really obvious, right? They're not the ones that are posted. If your whole thing is sending out a billion resumes, they get stuck at the bottom of the resume pile and nobody ever actually sees you, right? Like what's going on. Because most jobs aren't posted. They happen from people that you know. And you're by yourself, you're involved in this huge network of people that you may not even appreciate. I'll go back to the beginning of the year when Brad said to me, why do I have to join LinkedIn? It's like everybody that I know in real life. So like, why would I want to connect with other people? Why, Brad? Because it gets you a job.
Yeah.
So then, while I'm part of this process, I thought of Shaily, my friend here, who is the ultimate social networker, literally the most connected person in the world. And she has managed to pay her rent for literally years by doing super fancy social network analysis because, and hacking the job market. And because all of you can leverage your connections in your different fields to do the same thing, I thought it'd be very interesting to hear what she has to say about how you can put those things together, right? And she's a big Survivor fan. Okay? So Shaily, I'll sit over here and listen. Sit in the back.
Is that a go?
Yep, go. Talk. Impressive.
This is so cool. I can see everybody. It's unbelievable. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Shaily Hakimian. Yes, thank you for that lovely intro. Career stuff is quite the adventure. It is not easy. It comes with ups and downs. But like your professor just said, it is totally about connections, about who you know and who the people that you already know might know, because you might be friends with them on LinkedIn, but they all have friends too. And maybe one of those friends is going to get you the job one day. So you never know who you're talking to and what connections people have. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, but I'm going to give you a heads up that after I tell you my story, I'm going to ask you all to give me a little snippet about yourself, maybe a 30-second pitch of sorts, maybe like 3 sentences about what you want to do in your career, and I'll give you more details on that in a little bit. So giving you a heads up. So to tell you more, you understand? You ready? I'm going to ask you in a little bit. Cool? Okay, so keep an eye out. So here's my story. So, and this is how it all relates to Survivor too. So, growing up, I didn't have a ton of friends. I was bullied. I was teased, something that a lot of kiddos have experienced. I got to high school with the goal of making friends. And the way that I actually found my friends was through an online community on MySpace for people who like the shows Big Brother and Survivor. And within that community, there was a sub-community of people that like to play online versions of the show. But this community needed a place to advertise its games, and they were spamming these groups that were not for them. And I was like, why are we spamming groups? Why don't we just make our own community? And I made our own community, and I engaged people. I featured a person of the week. We had a lot of fun, and I even was so good to have a competitor. So with that, where does that play into my career? Well, after managing this online community, and this is years later, I graduated college and I was applying for this position. And on the application, it asked, have you ever managed online communities before? And I was like, have I managed online communities before? And it hit me like a ton of bricks that what I was doing all the way back on MySpace was actually early social media skills, long before the term social media was even a thing. And it all had to do with the relationships I made with the people who liked our games and our community, because all those relationships, they kept trickling on, and that was the community that actually gave me the friends that I was striving for, that I was looking for. So from then on, I guess this is a little bit of how I got into my business. I'm a social media teacher, so this is all relevant. But how it connects to you and where your job seeker stuff is, that job was incredible for me. It was with an agency, which had a big status, that even today I can say, oh, I used to work for this agency. People are like, wow, you're cool, and it's amazing. So leveraging your past kind of history of cool groups makes a huge difference. Hello, welcome everybody who just walked in. And that was a thing for me. And then that position, I got it because I really nailed that resume. Like, I catered my cover letter for that position. And I had a feeling too that this position wasn't going to get a lot of applicants that had the background and the experience I had. So I knew that if I nailed it, the chances of me getting were very high. So that's why I put more energy into it. And they said, and then it was like a different thing, like blogging. Like, I had passively written some blogs, but then it became useful when I got to this job. Or other stuff. There was like a lot of like, have you managed social media before? I happened to get suckered into volunteer to do social media for an organization. I now have social media experience. I put that in there, and I got that job. And it was from that job that led me to another job that I worked for probably a year with the same client, And then I leveraged all that information to get another job and another job and another job. And there's a lot of mess in between the story. It is not crystal clear, but every great person that I impressed kind of led to another opportunity. So it's a little bit about me, a little bit about my journey. I could talk to you for like 10 hours about this. But as I like to do presentations, I want to make sure this is useful for you. So please, throughout this whole thing, if you have a comment or you have a personal story that relates to something I say, or if you have a question, I'm going to do my best to answer them as we go, or I'm going to tell you to hold on to your question and we're going to pull it in later. So I want to make sure this is as useful as possible. You have me, you have your professor, the whole wealth of the internet has resources, but I want to make sure that we can make the most out of this time. Does that sound good? Yes, I love it. Awesome. So that's a little bit of my story. Again, so here we go. I told you a little bit earlier that I want to hear a little bit about you. I want to know who I'm speaking to, a little taste of who you are. Now, you don't know me that well, but I did give you a little bit of nuggets about me. So maybe I'm a person that can lead you to a job. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. But now you're hearing me. I'm hearing you. Give me a little taste of who you are. So maybe we can find some connections, or maybe I can refer you to some resources in the future. So give me like 3 sentences about maybe what you're looking for, your career stuff, what you're really good at. This is a chance to practice so that when it happens on an interview or a phone call or whatever it might be, that you have a little bit of trial and error. And then we can use that experience to guide the rest of this conversation. Do I have a person that is ready to do a nice quick 30-second pitch that's ready to go? Any first takers? Or your professor might pick someone too.
I was going to go myself.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Well,
Pitch me.
Brad would like to go.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, who's Brad? Okay, so my name's Brett. Hi, sorry, wrong hand. This one. Right here.
Oh,
My name's
red
Brett.
and blue. Got it.
So, well, professionally or personal also, because you did give some personal background that related into professional.
Yes. So I'll give you a nugget now since you're mentioning it, and I'll come back to you in a second.
Sure.
A lot of times business connections and professional connections are really helped when you have personal connections. Because if you're just some anonymous blob that's like, oh, I do this generic skill and I do this generic skill. But if you're like, oh, I like dogs, you like, oh my God, we like dogs. Now we can talk business, and now we know that like we have some sort of mutual understanding. So you know what? That is a great tip for you all to think about as you're talking to me. You now heard a little bit about me, so try to engage me too in the way that you're telling me about whatever it is that you want. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yeah, like go for it.
just
Right.
while you're thinking about your important biography of your life story, when I finished my master's, the Ontario government sent me an email saying, we're interested in having you come to this talk from NSERC, which is one of the founding things for technology in Ontario, to learn how to talk to people. Like, okay. So I went to, as you probably know, I'm okay talking to people, but anyways, I went to this thing, and the guy said, you're really into technology, and people like you, those computer science people, don't know how to talk to real people. So let's do a sample interview. You go into the boss's office, they want to hire you, and they say, so, tell me about yourself. And you say things like, I know Python and Java. And then they don't hire you because they like no personality. But if you go into the same interview and you look behind the guy's thing and you say, oh, you like fishing. I like fishing too. Ice fishing, summer fishing, all fishing is great. Then they hire you because you're a computer person with fishing skills. Now, they give you a really fancy diploma. In fact, the diploma I got from this weekend was fancier than an actual university degree. But that being aside, your taxpayer dollars paid for this thing that I went to. Now I have the art of powerful conversation mastered. The point is that the truth is somewhere in between those two things, right? Like you want to impress on people that yes, you have technical skills and that you have some kind of personal connection with them, right? We're going to talk about today, one of the most important things that you can leverage is your network, alumni network, the college network, your university network, right? Like people that you know that can help you get to where you want to go, right? We're gonna look at a few examples of that later. So that being said, Brett, take it away.
Yes.
Okay. So I grew up playing hockey, so I always had like a environment of people around me, so you always had to say something at some point. And working together, so even if we didn't know someone, you had to bring them on like you knew them, compare them to the rest of everyone else also. So I think that's where my outgoingness really came out. But I just always liked having looking at people and understanding why they did things in the first place in society. So that's why I got into sociology, and then like the fact of law just came into the place also of like liking the fact of liking the aspect of like it diverges from regular society, I guess. So understanding where they come from. So I guess that's how I got into the analysis. So I don't have a whole lot of computer background until I came into this program. But interpersonal and societal values, I guess I have more background in.
Awesome. I love that you have an edge. You gave me an edge, right? Like you can do the sociology stuff, but you can also do the stuff, which is really interesting, right? That gives, and you put a story to it. You put hockey to it. Like it all makes it interesting, and it's much more memorable than I do generic computer. I love that. Any other thoughts for him or anything like that? I want to keep it short and keep moving.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I love it. That was great. I want to see that. I'm going to tell you, some of these things that you're telling me could be on your LinkedIn profile and be just a bit more interesting and a bit more exciting to a recruiter. Somebody else want to go in and jump in for it? I think I'm going to throw some tips in as we're doing this. This is awesome. Who's our next person that is willing to do this? I don't bite. So. What about, I see you raising your hand in the front in the black t-shirt.
Me? I don't
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
We're all supportive here. You're all going to talk to each other afterwards and give each other ideas.
All right, my name is Christian. A little bit about me. I've been an athlete, a coach. I've been a counselor at a youth center. I've done management. I was a chef, owned my own business.
Wow.
Yeah, reason I got into this field is because I like helping people, not so much being around people, but helping people. And yeah, I have my computer background. I don't have a professional background, but I've been playing with computers since they were invented. And yeah, I figured why not combine the two things.
That is awesome. Love it, love it, love it. I love that you gave me a little bit of your backstory. That's kind of cool. I love that. I wanna see how that all plays into it. Like, why is your thing as a chef playing into your thing today? I think you're en route to that. So painting that picture for someone and then throwing that online and making those connections for someone, showing them how all these unique skills that you have can play into this other role that you want to do is humongous. This is something that I personally believe in. When someone has a variety, like multiple skills that are completely obscure from one another, like for example, like teaching and social media, and you combine them, but like more than that, it can be killer. Like there's a guy on YouTube, what's his name? His name is Shaily. You can follow him online. He's got amazing 1-minute videos. He did 1,000 days of 1-minute videos. He gained the skill of video production, and he's amazing at storytelling. And when he put them both together, plus consistency, it made for a killer combination on social media. So utilize the random skills that like no other person in this industry will understand how being a chef is going to play into the computer stuff that you all do. Maybe use that edge to be like, well, I know about X, Y, and Z that me as a person could never know what that connection is, but you uniquely can. That might be a fun edge for you to think about, or anybody else. What about someone else in there? Is there someone else that we can go?
I think by order, it's like Shannon. By order, it would have been Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it. I hear Shannon.
Hi, I'm Shannon. So when I was like maybe 10, I went to the Warden's Museum across from Houston Penitentiary, and I really kind of got interested in, I guess, the prison system and kind of criminality and stuff. And but a lot of my schooling, I was really interested in math and sciences. So when I went to university, I went in for computer science and took a few criminology classes, but there was nothing that really combined those two things until I got to Cambrian, where I was able to combine crime or like analysis and my programming skills with criminology.
Ooh. This is totally a sidebar, but I did a program where I was inside of a prison, taking a class of my classmates who were in prison, and our classmates were from the university. We worked together to learn about all the craziness of the prison system. So like, that's a big topic. I'm cheering you on. Somebody needs to do it. So I'm glad you're interested in it. Is there like a follow-up question? Like, can you add a nugget to tell me, like, is there something that you hope that your work will be able to solve for the system, or some sort of thing that is bothering you, or like a cause that's related to your interest in both of these, that is something that you think will be something that you want in your work, or something that you want to work on in your future, since you're passionate about both? Is there a nugget you can share about that, or that sparked something for you?
I think that's something I'm gonna have to like consider more, I think, but
Yeah.
hmm.
Let that boggle your mind, and then that way you can kind of say, like, here's where my passion lies, or here's where, I don't know, where I can use these skills for the betterment of the world. I don't know what it is, but let that boggle your mind. Give it a day, a month, 6 months, whatever it is. But give me that whole story one day. I'm excited for you. Keep up the good. So that was Shannon, right? Okay, who else do we have next?
I hope it's Golda. Hi, Golda.
Ola?
Yeah, Golda. Yeah,
What? Say one more time.
Golda, Golda.
Golda, like jewelry? Golda?
Yeah.
We know this.
Okay, got it. I'm here. What do you got? Tell me your thing.
Okay. I did I did economics as my bachelor's, and before that for schooling I took science, and now I'm in IT field. So yeah, so I actually didn't know much. I don't know much in computer and all. So from after economics I thought business analytics would be a great option for me, because I love stats. So yeah.
So did I hear stats and economics?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know a little bit about what you do. And then did you put a little bit of personal in there, or a little bit of like maybe why you love these things, or what got you excited about them, or something like that? Is there a little bit of that you can tell me about?
Economics, I actually took science as my school. In my school days, I took science as my main subject. Then I don't know. I thought I should study something of commerce, so I took economics for my bachelor's. There, stats was one of my major subjects, and I really like that subject. So after that, I thought I should study something related to IT and all. So I thought of learning something related, analytics field or something that should include stats as well in it. So I thought this would be a great opportunity for me, business analytics. So I came here, and I'm okay with it.
Great with it.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that nugget. You're going to be able to utilize some of those things in a really special way. Thank you. We have someone else to jump in. Let's see. We got most of everybody so far, I think.
Either Arnold or
My friend in the red or the blue or the white.
From front to back.
That's what Arnold, what do you say?
Wish I had much to say. I'm Arnold. I have a computer science background. Worked as a network analyst and as a network administrator. So mostly I went away from computer science into the part for a bit. I just don't like programming by itself. So coming into the analytic field it's easier to be on the, not to be sitting just doing programming all day, but do something that's interesting, like figuring out a puzzle, in the business analytics world, trying to figure out where things go and how to improve things, stuff like that. So that's what I'm interested in. That's why I'm doing this program.
So you told me about some stuff. So why you liked your field? Is that what you were telling me, right? Why you're excited about your field?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then maybe this is something for you to think about. Are there any like examples of like projects or things that you wanted to research or something that got you very excited that you can also share? Is there like, I did this thing and it was really cool and this is how I used my skills? Like, is there like an example that you can share as part of your story? Think about it. It's okay. Think about it. This is how you can kind of give it like, you can give it a little bit more meat, right? Because, and this is something I'll tell you all, I have it in my notes here, is that with LinkedIn profiles or pitches or something, like all the stuff you share with me could be on your summary section of your LinkedIn. By the way, if I'm talking too fast, give me like a shimmer because I talk, but I need to go slower. All of these things are things that can go on your LinkedIn to tell who you are and to kind of frame a picture. I told a group of students I had, and these were like third graders, like young kiddos, when they were writing their speech, I want you to write something that when I hear it said, that I know it's 100% yours, that it's yours to grasp onto, that nobody else could have given that same exact speech. So when it comes to your profiles, maybe your resumes, I don't know, but your LinkedIn profiles have a lot less rules. So give me some of that. I want to know that it's only your profile and it's not like that it could have been someone else. Not that you're stealing it, like that it's unique and so truly yours. Because a lot of people won't have the same combinations of skills as what I heard here. Does that sound good? Is that Arnold, right?
Yep.
You have some new ideas, I hope. I want to get you thinking about what you can evolve in the coming months on your profiles and beyond. What about our friend behind you in blue?
Hey, my name is Jeffin. I have a
What? Say one more time.
My name is Jeffin. J-E.
Okay. Got it. Awesome. And then if you could, I'm trying to hear. It's a little choppy to hear, but I'm going to do my best to try to hear what you're saying.
Okay. So I have a background in mathematics and statistics. So during my bachelor's, I studied like some computer programs like Java and C++. So that made me interested into IT field. So my dream job was to become a data scientist. So that's why I chose this course here, business analytics. So I think it will be like a stepping stone to my dream data scientist. I'm also doing a data scientist certification course from Data Camp. So that's all about me.
Cool. So you're telling me a lot of your skills, which is really cool. If you have any extra, and I know your professor likes when I use the word superpowers, if you have any extra superpowers or cool kind of way to describe what you do in a unique way that only you can describe, I want to know.
Okay. So I like to play cricket. I don't know whether you know it about.
He's the cricket champion.
Yeah,
cricket.
So the cricket champion.
So I play for Cambrian College as well as for Central Cricket team. So during, cricket is an outdoor game, so we play a lot of cricket during the summer. So last summer we went to Toronto, Montreal, then Niagara, Orilla, the North Bay. So we play lots of cricket all around Canada. So this year also in the summer we are planning some new tournaments, maybe in Montreal. So I like to play cricket.
Wow. That's so cool. Even just hearing you talk about it, I'm feeling your passion and your energy and your excitement on there. I almost wonder if you want to put a little nugget on your, I don't know about resume, but like on your LinkedIn and be like, here's where I put my energies or my commitments, or to frame kind of your skills as like, well, here's kind of some skills that I've learned from cricket that will apply to wherever I work or working as a team or whatever. Like, feel free to use those stories because it's nice. It's a cool way for people to connect and be like, oh, wow, you're cool. And they're going to remember you as a cricket like person that also has the skills with whatever job they're looking for. And I think we have one more. Is that right?
No, there's two more, but I just wanted to say one thing. Like,
go for it.
Sometimes you could look at the overlap between totally unrelated fields. And I'll give you a very good example. In Canada, Canada's a very cold country, I'm sure you all know, and there's not a huge professional scuba diving community in Canada, as opposed to other countries that are, for example, on islands, right? In the Canadian Army, there are 2 doctors in the entire Army, in the whole Canadian Forces, that are scuba medicine experts, right? There are these 2 people, and they happen to be super well published and internationally famous and so on. You wouldn't think that scuba diving and medicine / the Army has this big overlap, but if you wanted to work in the same office as these people, getting into that entryway could be through medicine. You're a doctor, they're doctors, it makes sense. Through scuba diving, you're a scuba diver, they're scuba divers, it makes sense that they have this interest. Or academically, you want to publish stuff about scuba diving, that's what they research, it works out great, right? Same thing's true with cricket. Like, what's the overlap between cricket and data science? Who in Canada plays cricket and also works for Amazon and is interested in what you have to offer, right? So maybe the connections that you could develop through that network of cricket could be far more valuable if you find the right intersection looking at how you get that job. Again, if you go into Amazon and you say, I do Python or Excel, everybody does Python or Excel. That's why they're working there. Everybody has the same thing. What differentiates you from everybody else? If you meet the guy who's the CEO because he's on your cricket team, you have a totally different entry to how you get that job and how they see you, right? People are like, I don't care if Jeff knows anything, but he's an amazing cricket player, he definitely gets the job, right? And it's like that intersection, like that Venn diagram is the same for every single job, right? Everybody's going to be interested in something, and there's some way to connect with them that's not necessarily only using your resume. Because if they put it out there and they have resumes, you're going to get tons of resumes for each position, and everybody's going to be qualified for it. Most people will be, right? Then HR has to pick someone. You might not even be selected by the person who's going to hire you. You might be selected by somebody in HR that you never see. And to get your resume past HR, you need somebody in the company to pull you in, or need somebody from the company to offer you the job. A lot of jobs, probably like 75% of them, aren't even written about. So if you get to the point where you see the job being offered, then it's already like beyond the point where you could influence what's going to happen. If you know that person, they're like, oh, we have something opening, why don't we just hire you? That's how most jobs work in Canada, right? So to figure out like the hidden job market really is the most important part of being able to figure out where you fit in, right?
Yep. And it could be maybe one of your cricket buddies works for a cool company, or maybe someone who also is passionate about prisons and all that kind of good stuff knows somebody elsewhere. It's, you can utilize personal connections, potentially people to help get you in the door.
I thought that somebody from this course is going to end up in prison. So if you think about it, there is that close conflict. I'll tell you who at the end of the semester.
It's me.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. Okay. How about you go, AJ?
So I like this. I'm infusing part of my notes into like how we're talking about this. This is already happening. We're going to get to the last two also. So they're kind of the same way we're talking to. The personal connection is so key. So let's say you want to work at a company and you see, maybe you look up who works there on LinkedIn, and you can use the search. I figure y'all are data people. Y'all know how to search for people. You see who works there and you find somebody who has some common interests with you. If you send them like a lovely message saying, hey, I noticed this, but without asking for too much, which is a whole other area, but they also like, maybe they also did science, or they also were a coach, or maybe you see like they worked at a camp when they were younger, whatever it is, that would be a potential entryway. But you want to make sure that you're genuine, that you're not like, oh, just sending you for a job. Like if you show them that you got to know them and you looked into their profile and that you found this connection, they're probably going to be a lot warmer of a person that might want to be the person to pull you in. Also, they might also have an incentive to recruit people for their company. You might, if you get a job there, they might make money. They might make $2,500 or $3,000 to like get you in. So maybe so I give this example. Maybe I'll even show you these slides now. Actually, I'll show you these slides now. And let's see. By the way, Mr. Professor.
More people.
What?
Like AJ's sitting here. He's ready to go.
I know. We're gonna pull him in. I'm infusing the content with the thing. How much time do we have, by the way?
But literally, since the moment he was born until now, this is the pinnacle of his achievement. Take it away, AJ. No pressure. Not
okay, fine. AJ, go for it.
So I'm Azin, and I did bachelor in business administration, and
I'm having a hard time hearing you, AJ.
I did bachelor in business administration.
Ooh.
And it was in finance, a specialization. And I did the first program in Hakimian, that was human resource. And I applied for financial planning in Toronto. I did get, and for some reason I got business analytics. And I'm here.
We're happy you're here.
Yeah.
Listen, even the second choice is still a good choice.
Yeah, it's a good choice. Every time I have like wondered like how people do business online. I thought like we have a lot of opportunities in our country because they are developing, right? So we can make something go online and go like digital to a great extent. And I was really interested, and this was like, I don't know if it will help or not, but still I think it will help at some point of time. And for me, what I'm interested is I play football and I play chess. Like soccer.
Ooh.
And I play chess.
Interesting.
Like chess or?
And I play cricket too, but not here though. I was.
So you got some stuff in there, okay? I see. You're gonna meld these a little bit, or you're gonna add a little. You're gonna pull some highlights from the sports into the professional. What about? We have one more, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of our last person?
Go, yeah.
It's Madhav, and I did my bachelor's in engineering before, and after that I worked as a sales engineer, and also I worked for a manufacturing company. And after that, I think of applying to Canada, and I took project management as my first course because like I was wondering, like most of the works are projectized now, and most of the organization really hire people who have some like management background in them, and that's why I took project management. And for the second course, this business analytics I'm doing, it is also connected to my career because like I can relate this from the engineering field, like that can be a manufacturing company, any machine learning or options or whatever. So like I think this will match up my career and it will lead to like find job easily.
Oh, okay. I see you pulled in some different experiences in there, like manufacturing management, your degrees and all that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. Cool. I love that. Thank you all for sharing, by the way. Can you give yourselves a round of applause? Just like give yourselves a round of applause. That was lovely. I love that. All of these pitches and all these ways that you describe yourself, you can use them online, offline, in person. They're all going to evolve, and they're going to all just keep changing over time. And the more you think about it, the clearer it'll all become. So how much time, by the way, how much time do we have to jump right into this? Because I can go for like 8 hours, but I'm not going to go for 8 hours. I'm going to spare you all.
Take it
I
away.
want to give you the juicy highlights. Take it away? Okay, cool. Just keep me posted because I got lots of goodies. So the thing about personal connections, it's going to help everybody on here. I like to call it online networking. Who has met somebody through the internet before? I'm going to raise my hand. Who has met somebody, whether it's professional, personal, right? We've all done it, right? A lot of people have done it. You gotta either warm the person up or start with a simple hello or a nice greeting or sending them something nice. Because if you say, hey, I want to, let's be best friends tomorrow, or let's make business together right away, or let's get on a dating app and, seal the deal, whatever. Like, you don't ask for the thing you want right away. You want to warm people up because, and get to know them a little bit. So some really random stories that I have. And if I want to share my screen briefly, can I do that? Oh, wait. Share. Oh, here we go. Share. Let's go share this screen. Sharing the screen. Can you see? Oh, you're seeing all of my screen here. Let's present. Can you see this? Oh, you can see this. Hello. So here's some examples here. So this is somebody that I met at this company called Uptake. They have a lot of jobs here. Oh, I don't know if y'all know where I'm from. I'm from Chicago. So I am not Canadian. Surprise. I don't know if it's obvious, but hello. So here is this company called Uptake. They went from having like 80 people work there to like 800 people work there, like overnight. They got a lot of money. I don't understand what they do, but it sounds very cool. I mean, it sounds very cool as they expanded. So I met this lady at the company, and she was doing a talk for someone. And I know that people like some good social media attention because most people's social media sucks. So if I write a really nice post, people like me. So I tagged her in this post, and I said, I was really excited to hear the speaker. Now, the speaker is a background in education, so I was excited because I'm a former teacher, and she's working for a tech company, and I love tech. So I sent her this tweet. Now, I don't know, 6 months later, I see her at an event, and I say hi, and then I try to tell her who I am so she remembers, because I figure she met a lot of people. She knows so many folks. How is she going to remember me? I was like, you met me at the, the General Assembly event. And then she's like, oh my God, I totally forgot your name. Who are you? And I'm like, the fact that she even tried to remember my name was nuts. But she remembered me because she's like, you're the girl from Twitter. Now, do you think that this person now, after this whole experience, if I emailed her, making her, like, asking her for something, there's a very good chance she's going to be a lot more open to it than if I was some random stranger. So that's something to keep in mind, that I could have sent her, and I've done this before, I sent somebody articles that I think they're going to like. They're going to like me more because now I'm thinking about them, or I took the time to get to know them. So maybe this is somebody that's an alumni of a job, or maybe this is someone that works at a company that you thought was interesting on LinkedIn. You want to make sure that you're nice and friendly to these people, that you show them you care, because then they're going to be a lot more open to helping you. Here's another example. I haven't asked these people for anything, really. This woman had a TED Talk that I liked. I saw that nobody really talks to her on Twitter, but she's popular. I sent her this tweet telling her how awesome she was, and I made her day. Now, if I ever bump into this woman, or if I ever see that an opportunity might be possible because of her, I can now reach out and and actually respond to this tweet so she remembers who I am. And chances are she's going to be like, wow, you were that nice person that said amazing things to me a year ago. So all of these things help. And here's one where some magic happened. This person, Karen, liked a page of mine that I don't advertise. So I was like, how did she find me? Found out a friend of mine referred her. And then I reached out to her, by the way. And eventually, 6 months, I meet her at a barbecue. We hit it off. Another year later, she's actually a person that bought a ticket for my event. Actually, your professor was there too, I think. But she bought a ticket for my event. So because I was welcoming to her and because I sent her a nice message, eventually it led her to kind of closing some business with me. So that could be anybody on LinkedIn too. If you're requesting anyone on LinkedIn, always send them a nice message so they know you're a real person and that you care about them, because I don't add anyone I don't know. So if any of y'all decide to add me on LinkedIn, send me a personal message. We met in the class that you spoke at today. I'm like, oh, great. And then now I know who you are, and it'll be in our messages forever. Okay, and if you have questions, please jump in. Those are a little bit of me. Stop sharing. Here we go. So there's a little bit about that. Let's see, what are some other notes? Do you want to see, would you be interested in seeing some LinkedIn 101 kind of stuff, like some features to use so you can look good on there? Are we feeling me? I think. Okay, we have some interest. Okay, so maybe I'll share some LinkedIn stuff. So, you're going to see too much. No, you can't see my screen yet, right? Okay, let's go share my screen again. Share. Where is my screen? This one. Okay, there we go. So here's my, oh my gosh, my LinkedIn. This is my profile. You can see a lot about me. There's some things that you should keep in mind. You can see who's viewed your profiles, any sort of stuff like that. I would say check out, see who looked at you. If there's anyone that looks cool that might be relevant for a job, see if you send them a message or send them a request or comment on something. You never know who might open a door for you. I say internet networking, it's like you make a lot of connections, a lot. And eventually there's going to be a coincidence and some random one is going to pay off. And that's the one that's going to get you maybe the job or whatever it is. This part is really interesting. Does anyone have their career interest turned on already? Do you know what this is?
No.
Does anyone have done it? So when you go home, you're going to go to your LinkedIn and you're going to say that you're going to let recruiters know that you're open for a new job. So if you have a job, it basically tells recruiters from all the other companies that you're interested in being hired, but without telling your company that you want to get a new job. So go home and do that. You can write, let's see if I can click it. You can tell people, I don't know, I put a little blurb here that gives them kind of a blurb of what you're looking for, what kind of jobs you're looking for, what kind of size companies. Here I put my industries. You can put your industries on here. This is a freebie. You can use it and it'll help you. And then every 3 months you have to tell it that you're still open-minded. So you gotta all go home and do that, yeah? This is a fun spot. So this one is actually great. I saw someone give a presentation about this, where this is my activity. So if you want to know everything that I've done on LinkedIn and see what kind of posts I like, you can go kind of stalk me a little bit. Professional stalking is, you gotta be careful, but it's okay. So let's say you want to get to know me, or you want me to keep you in mind. You can comment on my video right here. You can say, oh, I saw your video. And now I'm going to think, oh, that nice person that liked my video and left that thoughtful comment. They're not a stranger as much. They're kind of interesting. Let me get to know them better. Engaging with their content is really nice. Related, saying, hey, I saw you like this article. This lady that I saw give this talk, she's like, I saw somebody like an article about some random hobby. She researched that hobby. And then when she met him in person, she referenced that hobby and his face lit up. The same way that if somebody came up to me and started talking to me about Survivor, I would be like, oh my gosh, I love you. And I would talk about it for 3 hours because that's me. So figure out who that person is. Maybe this is someone you're going on a job interview with. Sometimes looking at their profile can give you a sense of what they value and what they like. Maybe you can see they worked at the same company for 20 years. Maybe they value loyalty. If there's a way for you to mesh that into your interview, great. So keep that in mind. It's free information. All of this, it's free information to see what your person cares about. With your job stuff, I have a variety. This is my speaking. I put a lot of, I'm probably going to mention that I did this today, workshops. One of them, I actually put, and I encourage a customer of mine to do this. Where did I put it? Events. So I work events sometimes, and I put a story, I put clients here, and I put stories about what I've accomplished at the companies I've been with. So people can't really imagine what it is that I do, but now they can, because I've given them a real experience that they can now relate to. So I helped a family that was vegetarian. There was literally no vegetarian food at this festival. And I knew who was running the show. I found some vegetarian food for them, or else they wouldn't have had anything to eat. So that gives them perspective of what kind of things does Shaily do when she's working an event. So you can put stories there so that I can better understand what your life was like. You put the skills, but like give me perspective. Like I saved a customer, I helped find this data thing that was super useful in the future. I don't know. I'm not a data master like you all, but make it easy for them to understand what it is that you do. There's a little bit of nuggets there. What else can I say about LinkedIn? I have my notes. LinkedIn for jobs, there is an easy apply button. Like your professor said, what is it called? Spray and pray, where you click, 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 apply, apply, apply. If that's what you're relying on to get a job, not great. But let's say there's a job, like a recent company I worked with, their application was so cool. And I was like, I really like this company. I think they're like the kind of company that I really want to spend my energy with. I spent a heck of a lot more time on that application than I did some random job that I'm like, well, if they really wanted me, they would reach out. And I randomly will click like apply. Like for those, I'll kind of click away and be like, well, maybe, but I'm probably not interested. But if they reach out, maybe. Like that kind of stuff. Like sometimes I'll just, the click to apply on LinkedIn is super easy. It'll just tell them you exist. And if they really want you, they'll find you. If they don't, you didn't waste any time. But don't rely on that as your way of getting a job. If you find, let's say, the handful of the 100 jobs you find, the 5 jobs that are super relevant, put your energy into those that you think you have the best shot at, that is most for you. I don't like wasting my time on applications that don't value me, but that's my own problem, but my own specialty. What else can I tell you? And your data people. So I was talking to your professor before this, telling him a story. Somebody that I used to date would go really nuts on this, and I think you all have the skills to do this. He would make a very big spreadsheet with every job he's applied for, and he would write down like how much money they have in revenue every year, how much staff they have, what kind of perks they have for the job. He spent probably 40 hours putting together this document, and then he would track whether he applied to them or not. And you can track a lot of different things in there. You have data skills, and I think your professor has a slide afterwards that's going to tell you how to do this. But keep track of who you applied with and what you've done. That's not a bad thing. Figure out what it is that you want. Now, these are questions, by the way. I don't see any hands, but if you have questions, I literally can just, but I want this to be as useful as possible. Any thoughts here? Okay. So that's a little bit of LinkedIn. Oh, this is another one. So I used to work for a company when our business we're selling software to recruiters. So a recruiter added me that was like a customer of ours, and he told me this. This is his business. This area, you see this area right here? It's skills and endorsements. He said that the top like 3 things that you choose to like be a priority here are the ones that you want the most people to know you for. So social media, customer engagement, or workshop facilitation. I love those things. So when you go home, it's going to have 3 that you already picked out automatically, but pick your 3 favorites and put them there, because this part is very searchable. So if they're searching for data and like analysts or whatever, you want to put that here because that's the job you want the recruiters to look for your profile. The same goes for your headline. This part is very searchable. So if they're looking up a public speaker, my profile would theoretically potentially come up. So put the skills that you want people to know you for here. Sound good? We still with me? Yeah? Lots of nuggets. What else? So my summary, and I can go through it too, but my summary is kind of what I told you about. It's a little bit of personal, it's a little bit of business, and how they all relate together. I talk about being like having my own business as I was 17, different careers, the story I told you about MySpace, killing it at other jobs, my background. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. Shoot, I don't know what's going on here. I also list that I'm first generation American. My mom is from Morocco, my dad is from Iran. And that's super random. But companies nowadays, and this is a little tricky, they like diversity and they like seeing, oh, I can't hear myself. Okay, I'm taking out my earphones for a minute. They like diversity and they want to hire people who are different. So I put that on there. And this lady, actually, you can see her picture right here. Where is she? This lady, Llewellyn, actually asked me about it. She's like, oh, I dated a Persian guy once. And we had a whole conversation about it. And I think she was actually looking to hire someone that didn't identify as white. And seeing Moroccan Iranian gave me like a little bit of push. Companies want to be more embracing of diversity, and it's a huge thing. And I'm like, might as well make it easy for them to see that I am in that category. If you're a woman in tech, there's not a lot of women in tech. People want to hire more women. So, I mean, you can see that in my picture, but keep that in mind. There's some other things that can give you an advantage. So it's a little bit about me. And I have a whole presentation of examples for you that your professor can send out to everybody after. What else? Now, is there a way to stop this echo?
I don't hear echo.
I hear hello. Maybe. Do I need to put the volume down here on my phone? Oh. Hello?
Hello.
Oh. It's giving me a weird echo. Okay. I've lowered my volume here. Pushing down. Oh, there's a hashtag on LinkedIn called #students of LinkedIn, where if you tag a post that you put on there, could be cool. If you have an article about the business you want to work in, post it. LinkedIn pushes you out really far. People see the stuff you post on there because, unlike Facebook, they haven't limited how much you can be seen by others.
Can you show them the video that you made recently?
You want me to show them the video? Okay, let's see. I can show them the video.
The idea.
The idea. Tell them about it. The idea. Where is it? Let's see. I'm coming. Do you want me to give you a summary of this?
Yeah. So you got 5,000 likes or something on the video?
I have over 7,000 views on this. I have 100 likes, 122 comments. I spent like 20 hours putting this thing together. Telling people, because I work with business people and their LinkedIn profiles are boring. And I'm like, make your profiles interesting. Use that banner image. And I told them that, use the banner image. It gives you a little bit of flavor. And it could be a picture of your city, maybe a little bit about your company, your skills, maybe it's a picture of you doing sports. I don't know. Put something on there that'll give them a taste of who you are. And then I told them, make your summaries interesting. And just like I told you in the intro, make it a little personal so that we can connect with you better.
The interesting thing about this video is that once it gets out there and people are actually watching it, they started forwarding it, they're sharing it to other people, to their networks. So her network is expanding dramatically as she's encountering all these new people that she wouldn't have contact with otherwise, right? Many of them who are interested in that topic would lead to the better prospect for a job. It's like hacking into that unknown network that's outside of the group that she's currently connected with, right? And again, 7,000 people watch it, you'd assume that something good would happen out of that, you know. Has anybody contacted you about, wow, you have a lot of profile viewers? Look at that, that's crazy.
Yeah, it went nuts. Look at this. I had somebody reach out about potentially working with me, so, and like hiring me for my services. And I was like, that's the goal.
Jeffin is your #1 connection there. Jeffin is right there, the first person.
Oh, do we know you? Oh, that's you? Oh, great.
I don't know about that picture, but it kind of looks like him.
Should we look? Oh, look at this. We have a profile. I'm sorry. I'm looking at your profile. We're showing everybody your profile. Look at that. You've got your details here. Oh, good communication, interpersonal skills. Cool. Okay. You can put more. We can put more. Let's keep going with this. I love it. Okay. So you can see people have seen me now, and it's cool. So if you tag me in a post, my people might see it too, so you never know. I have a lot of friends who are looking for tech people in Chicago, so I don't know what kind of skills, but you never know. So we were talking about this, and your professor's going to tell you more. There's a guy named Adam Karpiak.
Oh, yes.
He's going to look at my profile after I look at his. He's cool. So he does recruiting for an accountant. I'm gonna unplug this for a minute. He's a recruiter for like accountants, but like he'll randomly like other people's posts, which because he has 60,000 people following him on him, it'll give the post a boost. So sometimes people will write, this is my story and my life, my challenge, whatever. I'm looking for a job, here are my skills, and then he'll like it, and then all of his people will see it. And a lot of people that follow him are actually recruiters. So if you engage with his content, people might be able to see you.
Yeah.
So here, I guess people are sharing him out. You can't see what he's liking, but he likes a lot of people's content. Worth stalking. And he's actually really friendly. He doesn't fight. You can talk to him. He's got time for people. A little bit.
People in your industry because he's that guy. And there's a guy like that for every industry. You just have to figure out who that guy is. right?
Yeah.
The guy that likes everything.
No, the guy who's like the super HR, he's the super HR recruiter for accounting. What does that look like in your industry? There's going to be obviously somebody who does that.
Yeah, so you can see he goes nuts. Lots of good content. But worth following on LinkedIn. What else? Summary, make yourself interesting. Let's see. Okay, what else can I tell you about? Okay, so an example of me looking for, so the way I work, my life is full of contracts. I work for various companies different times of the year. It's a little nuts. I don't work a 9 to 5, which I imagine is going to be different than what some of y'all are looking for. But there is one company that I would make an exception for. And the company's name is Buffer, and their whole business is they have a social media management platform. They basically it's a software that makes managing social media profiles much easier. And their company is like super cool. I'm obsessed with them. 100% of the company is remote. They don't have a central office. They fly people out every year to hang out with each other. They pay everyone very fairly. It's amazing. I'm obsessed. So what do I do as somebody who would want to work there? And this has been a multi-year project. That over the years, I watch their content. I comment on their stuff. I try to make connections with as many people that work there as possible. So if the unicorn job ever comes up that I'm super perfectly positioned for, the chances of me getting at least my foot in the door are much higher because I've spent time getting to know that company. And maybe there's a special company that you really like. Do people at that company know you even exist? And how can you make friends with those people so that maybe when they do need to hire someone like you, that you can be like, hey, I noticed you guys are hiring for a job. Is this something that you'd ever help me with? Without expectation, but just very friendly, like, hey, is this something that's possible? Can you help me with this? Or can I noticed you do this, and this. Is this something that you'd be willing to share? I don't know. But you want to, it's the interpersonal skills there. Let's see. Oh, let me see if I can stop screen sharing. Those are some things to keep in mind. Let's see what else I can tell you. So the way I think of
Can you send me back the PowerPoint I sent you?
What PowerPoint? What?
The PowerPoint I sent you. Can you send it back to me?
One more time?
The PowerPoint that I sent you. Can you send it back to me?
Oh, the one from a while ago?
The one for this class.
The one they sent me like last week? Can you, let me see, you want to find it? It's in my email somewhere.
What?
It's in my email. Can you see this? So as I'm looking for this, think of your LinkedIn profile as a mini interview for you, because you can't have, not every person is going to give you the chance to be interviewed, but it's giving you a taste of who you are to the person that might hire you. So make it easy as possible for them to know how cool you are. Is this email, Sydney Shapiro at Gmail?
You just forwarded my school email?
Is it your employee? Did I give you the wrong email? Oh. Is this your email? I don't know which email. I'm trying to find where. It doesn't take me a minute to find it. Oh, here, is this it?
It should have a PowerPoint attached.
Job Talk?
That's the one.
You want me to re-tag it to you?
Yeah.
This one. Here, send it to an email.
Okay.
Did you find it?
I'm checking.
Let's see, what is it? My $1 million tip. You want me to keep going? Can I keep going?
Yes, I didn't get the file now.
What?
I didn't get the email.
I just sent?
Now I hear it.
Yeah.
Should I send it to you via?
No, just send it back to email.
I just put a reply all to it.
Okay, I got
Can I
it.
do this?
Here.
Is that? Oh, it didn't send. I was like, I'll send it on WhatsApp. That does not work. Okay. How did you lose this? Okay. Do you want me to send it to your?
No, I got it. Okay. So
you got it? Okay, great.
Let's wrap it up here. And then.
Okay. Should I close?
Please.
A fun way to leave an interview, send them a postcard. It can open some doors. If you really, really like the company, send them love. Any other things I can tell you about? Oh, this is another closing one. Somebody tried to get their attention of a hiring manager by sending a box of donuts with the resume. That's a great story. I'm sure you can tell them about that story. It's absolutely nuts. And he pretended like he was a delivery driver for the restaurant. That's how he got in and actually handed the donuts to people. So those are some fun nuggets. Anything else I want to tell you? I'm going to send you the examples of really good LinkedIn presentations. I want to offer you all, if you want me to look over your LinkedIn, I do a mini audit. If you comment on that video telling me you want me to look over your LinkedIn, I will happily do it for any of you here. Anything else I want to tell you? Make connections, make friends with these people, be nice. You never know who's going to open a door for you. Treat people really well on the internet, and you never know what's going to happen. And hopefully, I want you to continue this conversation. Figure out what you want to show off to people. Talk to your professor. He's going to help you plenty. And I hope you all find the jobs that you're looking for. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a personal message too. Okay? Have the best time. Thank you so much for having me. And I will see you on the internet.
Good job. Thanks.